In a motel room back there, 3 people came out in a body bag tonight. The owner here has a surveillance camera, but this is the only thing he can see. Just to give you an idea of how fast the snow is coming down, take a look right here on the ground. This is actually where I was standing last hour. How much ice? Let's take a look. So much that we can't even get a hammer through it. This is where a delivery man found what he thought was a grenade. It was right down here. All of this food next to me is getting ready to go out. As you can see, the boxes are stacked up taller than I am. That's the deal county commissioners signed off on in that building. That means every time someone is booked in the jail over here in this building, it doesn't have to go very far. If you take a walk just a few feet down this way on Webster Road, you can see Silver Springs Park back there. And while it might seem like it's crossing the line, police say it's legal depending on where you are. Cops took off the crime scene tape and left, but it's still not over yet. In a motel room back there, 3 people came out in a body bag tonight. We still don't know who they are, but police say they do know this. They were all shot dead. One after another, investigators have been moving bodies out and bringing detectives into the Economy Inn motel room turned triple homicide scene.
We're still trying to determine the identities of some of these people.
But there's more questions than answers, like who pulled the trigger, shot 3 people dead, and sent 1 to the hospital.
We don't have a suspect identified yet, so that's probably our biggest obstacle right now.
They say they've been talking to witnesses since they got the call around 8 o'clock this morning.
We have a caller that called in, called 911, had went to the location, went to the room, saw what she thought was a dead person, and called 911. Then our officer arrived and discovered that there were multiple.
But people who've been staying at the motel say they didn't hear the deadly gunfire.
They came back out just to get a cup of coffee across the street, and all of a sudden there's policemen everywhere.
But others say they did see something suspicious that happened here before.
The night before I heard gunshots, and I was like, wow, wait a minute.
So far, police are not saying whether the triple homicide is related to any other crimes. They say they're still just trying to figure out why this happened. And we asked police just that. What could be behind this shooting? So far, they say it's just too early to tell. And even with all of this investigation going on, workers at the Economy Inn say they're still open for business. Melody? It all started with an argument on the front porch of a North Missouri Avenue home, but it ended with a threat.
I said, you better put your phone down and stop recording me, or I'm going to pull a bullet through your head.
Sarah Ellis says she told her neighbors that because she's had enough.
I get really frustrated when somebody is just antagonizing me, and that's what he was doing.
For the 3rd time, she says her neighbors across the street took out their cell phones and recorded her and her boyfriend arguing.
I think I should have the right to my own privacy on my front porch and the right to fight with my boyfriend if we're having an argument that day. It's really nobody's business.
Her neighbors didn't answer the door for us to see why they'd been recording her, but by law, anybody can record you anywhere. Well, you can see behind me, we have cameras recording us. What you can't see is that I'm recording you. And while it might seem like it's crossing the line, police say it's legal depending on where you are.
There are obviously rights to privacy, but if you're out in public or you're somewhere where someone can see you legally, you can be videotaped.
In fact, in some cases, police say cell phone video could help in crimes.
Whether individuals videotaping us or videotaping our incidents, has that helped? I mean, there's probably instances where it has.
Police wouldn't say exactly who was in the wrong in Sarah's case, but say what her neighbors did with their cell phones this weekend might just be legal, but something Sarah says is wrong. This intersection is a known spot for panhandling, Highway 76 and 65. It's also the same spot where we found Eric Richards, the man running for mayor, and he was out here doing what looks like panhandling too. With his change bucket and sign in hand, Eric Richards took to the street corner. But he's not homeless or asking for any money. He's actually asking for votes. And this
Stop panhandling!
Is his way of letting people know exactly where he stands on what he says is one of the city's most pressing issues.
It brings it down. It brings the tourists down. When people come in from out of state, first thing they see is someone holding a sign.
You're out here, holding up a sign, too.
I'm holding up a sign to say, hey, I'm with the people. People around here in Branson do not like panhandlers.
In fact, there's an entire Facebook page of supporters and people against panhandling. But then there's this page with people against him running for mayor in the first place.
I say to those people, that has to happen. Unfortunately, yes, that was part of my past.
The page highlights his past arrest record. It includes charges for credit card fraud and domestic assault.
That was a part of my past with my ex.
He ended up with a misdemeanor and admitted to serving probation last year for using a friend's credit card. But he says he's no criminal.
I am not a felon by any means. I'm not. I'm just an average working person wanting to affect change. Stop panhandling!
And Richard says he'll be out here on the corner every week to try and get his message across. In Branson, Sheena, Elzie, KSPR News.